When you paint what you love, it comes through. But if you try to paint for somebody else, it always is a little more challenging. When you all of a sudden have another expectation that somebody else has, it's hard to fulfill that. But it's always a challenge too, and it's an opportunity. I'm Ruth Ann Nordland. I'm a visual artist. My main concentration is oil painting. However, because I taught school for so many years, I ended up, when you teach, you do everything. So I do jewelry, needlework, weaving, printmaking, and of course drawing, sewing, and you just end up doing so many things. I even have a kiln that I want to get hooked up because I enjoy working with pottery also. About 22 years ago, we wrote an opportunity grant to go to Norway. And during that time period, I visited where my grandparents were born and was able to learn a lot about the folk art of Norway. So when I came back, I really produced a lot of work with pieces that have my grandmother's needlework in them, pieces from Norway. I put Scandinavian rose mauling in the backgrounds, many different things. I also, in a lot of my other types of things, I do Scandinavian nissens with needle felting. My knitting is a lot of Scandinavian designs. When I do paint things that are Scandinavian, I don't know if it's because we live in an area with a lot of Scandinavian people, but those pieces I think have all sold. And where the other ones will sell, but not quite as quickly. Just shows that when you're painting something that is connected to you, it also flows through into the painting. I've always loved the old European style of painting more. I remember even being very young, somebody asking me, who's your favorite artist? And I didn't think twice of saying Rembrandt. I admire many of the modern artists, but I still go back to finding the fascination of how they painted with just north light and how they did it and worked with that. Our area is a great place to do artwork. It's not that great of an area for people to connect. And sometimes when you do art, my type of art, visual arts, you're alone. I don't have a crowd out here watching me do my artwork. I do a show, and then I have a crowd, and then I go back into my studio and do some more. That was part of the reason why I joined the Bagley Area Art Collaborative, to have a connection with other artists where we get together. And at first I thought it was going to be more a social type of thing of just being able. And we do connect where we had gotten into being able to share a little bit at each meeting. But then also I've had the opportunity to teach a couple of classes. I believe when you teach something, you relearn it in a better way. To me, it's so important to be able to share your knowledge or your expertise. And we have some great people in the area. And that's one of the things that I have enjoyed, that they have been able to use the artists in our area and pull them together to offer different types of workshops. Plus the opportunity to have other Minnesota artists come up. And so I think it's helping the area, plus it's giving people opportunities. You never have it. You always are looking for improvements and trying to figure it out. And I think if I had it always figured out, it wouldn't be fun anymore. You know, I sit here looking at a setup and saying, okay, how am I going to make that appear? I have these paints sitting here, and I use a limited palette. I think there's maybe 10 colors on there. And how do I make that give an illusion of something that appears? Because paint is not copper, it is not lemons, it's not linen. So how do you make that illusion that it is? How do you use the light to make it come alive? How do you make the light travel through and have a composition that keeps you interested in that? So, and each painting, some are better than others, but I always say, it's always nice to see where you came from.